Woo, woo, woo. You know it.
Oh, radio, tell me everything you know. I will believe your every word, just tell me so. I like to sing with the radio. I like to play it real loud. I like to drive with the top down, rolling like thunder, always drawing a crowd. Every babe's gonna want a piece of me, yeah. I stare into the mirror. I like the things I see. I like the things I say. Oh, radio, tell me everything you know.
What is going on, you guys? Welcome to another edition of Mayhem in May. It is indeed crazy. It is indeed phenomenal because already we had this week Raging Nathan Gust, and now this week I'm being joined here by one of the referees from one of the, well, actually a lot of great wrestling promotions around here. I'm being joined by Mr. TJ Bowles. How are you, good sir?
I am doing great. Yourself, sir.
I am doing well, and a happy birthday to you, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, actually, I posted up a link on Facebook for people to ask any questions that people might have, and a couple of them involved AJ saying happy birthday to you, as well as Ron from WPW wanted me to say happy birthday to you as well. So,
Two very class act guys. Love those guys.
so basically, you guys, we're going to be doing another interview, you guys, and be sure to tune in also next week because so far lined up for that is indeed TW3, as well as Logan Lynch will be possibly making an appearance. We're still working on some of the details right now, but again, really cool that we get to do this here because actually you and I, we first met, I think was at a WPW show last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Maybe Stadium Mania? I don't know. Like, you can ask anybody. I'll meet you like 5 or 6 times, and then the 7th time I remember you. So, yeah, it's probably Stadium Mania.
Well, actually, I don't think I was at Stadium Mania. I think that we saw each other at the first show that was in Point. Geez.
Yeah, wait, it might have been even before that. Was that before or after the Raw with AJ and Chris and everybody doing the tailgating out at Lambeau?
Oh, my gosh.
Because I think that was when at least that's when you registered. That's when I was like, oh, hey, this is a Nathan. And, I think that's when I really remembered you.
I think it might have been. I can't remember exactly all the details, but either way, yeah, I just remember a lot of people just talking very highly about you and just saying a lot of great things. And, of course, AJ just saying random shit during the Breaking Point show. There we go. I have to remember all the names that, of course, the Point shows have been. We've done Breaking Point, Returning Point, Boiling Point. It's like, oh boy, we're going to run out of Point names here. And for those of you that listened to the show that I had with Nathan Gust on Monday, he said, yeah, you're welcome for all the names. I'm just like, you bastard.
I remember after the very first show, him and AJ were just going over how many names they can come up with, and I think they hit around 30, to be honest.
Oh,
there's
my
There's going to be a lot of points to cover.
Oh, my gosh. That's going to be insane. But, yeah, so starting off with this question of, as a fan, what got you involved with wrestling? What kind of, piqued your interest and think, this is something that I could watch?
To be honest, I know everybody says, I watched it with my grandma, or, I remember family moments watching wrestling together. For me, the Nintendo 64. I had a friend let me borrow some game I never heard of called WWF No Mercy. That game, as you know, is honestly one of the best video games for professional wrestling still to date. And that made me go, I wonder what this WWF thing is. So I started watching SmackDown on UPN, and I was hooked. I mean, absolutely hooked. And all my life I wanted to get into wrestling after watching that. I was like, these guys look like they have so much fun. It's just entertaining. I love how the fans go crazy for them doing something that looks just enjoyable, I mean, when you break it down, it's basically just a bunch of guys roughhousing together and having fun. I mean, who wouldn't want to, get paid big bucks to roughhouse, And, yeah, that just really got me into it as a fan, I guess you could say.
Now that actually does kind of make a little more sense when I think the first show that I saw you in, AJ, was just making the joke and probably screaming at you, just like, dude, you better do this right, or you're not playing No Mercy with us, man.
All right. Well, that night I also happened to bring my Nintendo 64 from home. I'm a little bit of a video gamer, and I brought WCW versus NWO Revenge and WWF No Mercy. And now because of that, at the after party at AJ's place, Joey Avalon and Brock, the real Brock Hall, won't let me play video games with them anymore. So that's a thing.
Oh, really? Why is that?
It was a handicap match, and I don't think they got a punch in, to be honest. So, yeah, I'm kind of banned from playing video games with the wrestlers now.
Just because of that one incident. So, wait, yeah. were you the one that, what was the handicap?
I was the 1-on-2. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is insane. So let me play the shoe on the other foot. What got you interested in either wanting to, get into the wrestling ring, I should say?
Yet again, I just wanted to be in it. Instantly it clicked while playing WWF No Mercy. I mean, in that game you can create characters, and I would just create so many characters. All the spots were full. And actually, honestly, my first goal was to be a wrestler, like everybody else's. Nobody grows up saying, "Oh, I want to be a wrestling referee." No, they want to be a wrestler. So originally, I was going to actually go to WWA 4 down in Atlanta, Georgia, to train. One thing led to another. I ended up in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I was like, there's got to be a fed around here somewhere. There's got to be some kind of wrestling industry here in Green Bay. It's a big enough city, right? Going through MySpace, I happened to find an old advertisement for ACW NWA at the time, and I had a phone number to call. I called that phone number. Little did I know that phone number belonged to Mr. Dylan Postal. Never knew how to pronounce his last name, but Hornswoggle, I guess you could say Swoggle. And he told me to meet up at Baba Louie's at noon on May 9th, 2009. And from there I became a referee, and I guess you could say the rest is history.
Well, was it the training that that kind of prevented you from going to be a wrestler, or was it just you saw more fulfillment with being a referee?
The very first day, I was told that, I told them that I'm willing to do anything. I don't care if I'm the guy who drives the truck. I really wanted to be in wrestling, right? I happened to be saying that on Fred the bus at the time. We used to take this big bus to drive the ring everywhere instead of a truck. And we happened to be going to a Mr. Jason Jerry's house, along with Weasel, and he's an old manager, old ref from the old ACW, NWA days, NWA Wisconsin days, and they remember me saying that, and I guess it stuck, and they were like, hey, it's cool that you want to be a wrestler, hey, keep going for that, but we really could use a referee, and you said you were willing to try anything, so you want to give it a shot? And I was like, yeah, sure. They gave me a shot, and the very same show, I had my first match, and I've been having matches ever since. I always feel like I kind of robbed the rookie system, because usually how it goes is, you train for 6 to 9 months, and you might get a match. I went to one show as security. Second show, I tried to match out before the doors opened. They just kind of did a, mess around match with me.
Right.
And they said they couldn't believe I've never done it before. Dylan said that, I did pretty good, but I got to show more aggressiveness, make people realize, I'm the authority. So I did it one more time, and he said, all right, you got a match tonight. So the second show I ever attended, that's when I started doing this.
How many matches have you had in all as a wrestler?
As a wrestler? I have not had any matches, but a mysterious luchador from Chile named Senor Dadbot, he's had about 5, all of which on an injured ankle. I don't think Senor Dadbot has had a injury-less match yet.
Interesting.
And, there's about 5 of them starting last June.
Oh, okay. Wow. That's pretty impressive, actually. So I guess the other question is now, all in all, how many matches have you probably, guesstimate at least, how many matches have you refereed, I guess is the question.
All right. Well, I remember last year I actually tried keeping count. Honestly, I was inspired by Nathan Gus. He said, he kept track of, all the matches he's ever reffed and every match he's ever wrestled and who all he's ever wrestled against. And he's actually shown me the list. It's quite impressive. And so I tried keeping track of that for a year. Gave up in August. And, man, if I had to guess, let's see here. 8 years, 10 times probably about 150, 200 matches a year. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, over 1,300.
Wow.
I would guess. Because there was a lot of times, and even nowadays, if you come to a WPW show, especially out in Babalou's, I rep the whole show by myself, front to back, usually. Like that's quite common for me. It's been quite common since about my second year in the business.
Man, you're like a regular Wisconsin Earl Hebner, aren't you?
That's not bad. I like going by that. That's good.
Make sure you guys, do the hashtag, Wisconsin's Earl Hebner, that being Mr. TJ right here. Actually, what's crazy is that Nate actually told me about that list too, and that's how he was able to, pick some of his favorite matches, some of his favorite opponents. Throughout, your referee career, you probably had the opportunity to call some of the greatest matches that a lot of people have really seen. If you could just pick maybe just a few, what were some of your favorite rivalries or some of your favorite matches that you got the chance to ref? And I guess this also goes into one of the questions that was posted on Facebook. Lola Bean, she asked a question, what was one of your favorite matches to be a part of?
Honestly, something gets added to that every 2 or 3 months. When we're backstage and we're deciding, who's reffing what, honestly, I kind of choose what matches I would want to see as a fan. So it's kind of cool because I get a first-hand experience. I'm basically a fan of the best seat in the house when I'm reffing. With that being said, probably some of the best matches I remember reffing. A lot of Brock Hall matches come to mind. I think he's a great worker. I almost want to say underrated. I know he does get a lot of props, but still, he's very underrated. I think probably Brock Hall versus Joey Avalon at Stadium Media. That was very, very good. Colin Brooks, his debut match against Sadist, that was one of the most electrified places I've ever been. He had so many people in his corner that night, so many fans on his side that night, and wow, just the way him and Steve had that match, I mean, God, that was a good match. Another great one that comes to mind, probably Logan Lynch versus T-Dub at the first point show, whichever point that's called. That was a great match. I know everybody said it was great too. I mean, that was just generally well received, and I can't feel any luckier. That I was in the spot that I was in to help make sure that match went smoothly, help amplify that match, and just make it it was just a great thing to be a part of.
Yeah, it's really just amazing, being in the set. Like you said, it's one thing to be out in the crowd, just seeing all this happening in there, but as a referee, you're in the center of it. You're kind of like I guess you could probably say like the ringmaster, where you're keeping law and order, and you're also trying to be that person that's also like, I'm gonna let these guys go, but they also have to abide by certain rules. And I know a lot of wrestlers, they usually don't like to abide by the rules. Let me ask this: has there ever been a point during one of the matches where either they kind of had to make something up on the fly that you were not expecting, or just something that kind of was kind of improvised or something like that, where it's just like, okay, I'll go with this, or something like that?
If you want, I can tell you a time when I did that right and I did that not so right.
All right. Start with the right moment. How about that?
Okay. There was this match, or this show out in Oconto for their Copperfest festival they have every year. And it was supposed to end one way, and it totally got flipped. Okay, so I walk out to the ring, and I'm like, all right, so this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen. And then they changed the finish right behind the curtains, right when I'm out there. And I was supposed to, as a referee, I made a dire mistake and pulled my count, I guess you could say, when I shouldn't have. They both improvised. They were both very good professionals, Sadist and Tejas. And they both improvised. Everything was good. They realized, hey, sorry we didn't tell you. That kind of threw off everything. But yeah, that's probably the time when it went right. The time it went wrong. This one actually includes Tommy. So I was having a match at the watering hole, and I was probably about 9 months in. And so it was TW3, Chuck Dollar. That's a name not many people out there will recognize right away. Brian Skyline and Jerry Styles. And what happened was I was just participating in the spook group, because why not? I'm a rookie, I want to have fun. So I painted up my face, I pretty much looked like Kiss, and I had a good spook room match, right? And that's done. And then I had a match to hurry up and get my stuff off, and hurry up back to do a tag match. Well, I barely had any time. I rushed. All of a sudden, like, I'm leaving the bathroom and going right out the curtain. I didn't know at all what was going on. So during the match, it was just hectic. Tommy, Skyline, Styles, they all